Hi, welcome to part 6, I think. Um, we are just about to play a video game with Carl, I think. Yeah. Alright, let's get to it. It's just like old times as we go up through Winter Castle. The fact that he still has the old save files from when he was in college makes it all the more nostalgic. I get so into it that it gets dark outside without me even knowing. And pretty soon I'm looking out at the purple sky reluctantly. About time I go back. Carl sighs and pauses the game before stretching and dropping the controller onto his bed. Oh, come on. Sure you can stick around? I don't know. I don't have any clothes or toothbrush. We can walk over and get them. Carol seems pretty determined to make me stay, and there's not one reason why I can't, so I relent. Alright, yeah, this could be fun. Yes. Carol looks happy and almost relieved. It'll be just like old times. He rose to his hooves. And speaking of old times, let's make a pizza. Oh, I just have a pizza in the freezer and I am so hungry. I want a pizza. Give me a pizza, Carl, please. I want one as well. I've suddenly caught Carl's enthusiasm. We go into the massive kitchen and pull a big frozen pizza from the fridge, and while it bakes, we sit at the counter and talk. At this point, the haze of pot has lifted from Carlos' face, and he's animated and excited again, swiveling on one of the counter stools. For the first time in almost 10 years, I'm giddy and excited in the way you only get when you're at a sleepover. That makes it a little jarring when he pulls out some beers, but I'm happy to have a few, and we guzzle them down as we talk about past sleepovers. Pretty soon our reminiscing drifts into the present, and that's when the conversation slows a bit, Carl having less to say. I try to change the subject and tell him that he should come back to school. He just smiles and shakes his head. Three hours later, we are both laying back on Carl's bed, head to toe, having just watched a shitty action movie. We didn't end up going out to get my stuff, so I'm just in my boxers, pleasantly drowsy and buzzed. I hear Carl snuffle and look down at my chest at him. What's up? He looks over at me and shrugs. Nothing, just thinking. What about? During our past sleepovers, Carl had always been afraid to be the last to fall asleep. He tried to keep me up by talking, rolling over on top of me, and sometimes by just throwing shit at me. I wonder if that's what he's doing right now. I don't know. Life? That's a lot to think about. Not for me. I look over at him again. He's holding one paw up, looking through his fingers at the ceiling fan. You're just figuring things out. Carl lets his arm flop back down over his head, blowing out a sigh. I'm not figuring things out, man. I don't say anything. It's good that he's reaching out to me, but I'm not sure I can offer any advice that he hasn't heard before. I just wish I could be doing something. I think for a moment. You've done a lot more than some people I know. I mean, your art is great. You did go to school even if you dropped out, and you were working while you could. There are a lot of people out there who can't even say that. Carl laughs, but it's a sad kind of laugh. Try saying that to my mom. She's always got something to do, always wants to do something. I just don't feel that. He turns his head towards me. I wish I did, Chase, but I just can't. His voice catches in his throat, and I shrink a bit into the bed and pretend not to know this. The beer we've had is definitely partly to blame for this. He turns his head towards the wall, though, and I'm guiltily relieved that when he talks again, his voice is under control. I just wish it wasn't such a goddamn chore for me to just go outside, you know. I feel that. I didn't know, but I nod anyway, even if he can't see. He's waiting for me to say something, though, so I clear my throat. Well, you know, I am in the same situation as Carl. I'm also doing literally nothing. And yeah, I do have a problem, I guess, but at the same time, I'm kind of doing okay as well. It's hard. It's a hard topic. I don't know. I'll say it's fine. You know, Carl, some people are just like that. He looks down at me, but doesn't say anything. If it's so hard to get out, then just don't. People figure things out eventually. And if you always just want to stay home, then do that. Just try to figure out a way to sustain yourself. That's pretty much the gist of what my therapist told me. Do what makes you happy. He watches me for a few seconds. So, are all those problems you had taken care of now? I hope so. We lay in silence for a little while, before I finally speak up. Listen, I'll probably come back a few times like this week to work with that history stuff. Well, why don't we go out and do something? That would be nice. I grin, glad at making Kyle feel better. Cool, let's plan on it. Kyle puts his paws behind his head and smiles. It's cool that you're here, Chase. It's cool to be here, Carl. And not just because it's nice to have someone to talk to. Oh? No, this house is fucking haunted. Well, that's ominous. And I just got out. I don't remember falling asleep, but it's at that moment that something wakes me up. I jolt, then lay there, trying to remember where I am. Carl's house, that's right. I stare at the ceiling, wondering what time it is. I don't bother to look at my phone though, because I'm already starting to fall back asleep. A scraping noise from beneath me makes me jump, and I prop myself up on my elbows, listening. Looking over, I see Carl staring at the ceiling, eyes wide. Carl? I whisper it, and I'm not sure why. He jumps, then looks at me, confused, like he just woken up. Huh? Are you okay? Yeah, what's wrong? I think I hear something. His floppy ears perk up. I don't. Then his eyes widen. Although I didn't hear anything right then, he definitely did. You hear it? Yeah, like a scraping noise I told you about. Yeah. He looks happy. Ha, so I'm not fucking crazy. We both sit there and listen for a while, but it sounds like it stopped. Wanna go see what? Suddenly, his eyes widen and his muzzle drops open in shock. I stare back. What? Did you fucking hear that? I listen, feeling my heartbeat pick up now that Carl looks fucking terrified, but I don't hear anything. What? A fucking voice. The fur raises up all over my body as I listen. But nothing. Carl definitely seems convinced though, so I listen. Harder. I just start to make out what might be a voice when Carlos sits up next to me and gets out of bed. I feel myself start to panic. Did some crazy hobo break into the house? Carl gets off the couch. Come on. What? What the fuck are we gonna do? Let's call the cops. No, let's make sure first. This has happened before. What? What do you mean? He puts a finger up to his lips. Grab something. What? I follow Carl out into the kitchen, and he starts rummaging through the drawers. I follow him, hugging my shoulders, feeling a lot colder right now. With the sound of metal sliding against metal, Carl pulls out a giant steak knife. What the fuck? Dude, I've been hearing this shit for the past month, and I've been too scared to go down there. But now with you here... He flashes me a smile. I'm gonna find out what the fuck this is. Here. He reaches into a spot between the fridge and the wall and pulls out a broom before sticking it out to me. I take it slowly. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Hit him. Come on. Carlos starts down the stairs and I follow behind, holding the broomstick in front of me like a sword. I've never had to hit anyone with a stick before. I have no idea what I'm doing. Once we get to the small door leading down to the crawl space, Carla pauses and we both listen. It's silent for a while, then... Shit! Carl looks at me like I'm crazy, not reacting to the noise at all. Shh. He leans down, a paw on the handle. Looking back at me, he signals me with his eyes to be ready. I grip onto the broom like a lifeline as I wait for him to swing the door open, and when he does, darkness. Shit. So whatever's down here is just slinking around in complete darkness. Hey. Carlos says it unconvincingly, the fear clear in his voice. Then, after looking back at me, fuck it. He jumps down into the crawl space, disappearing into the dark. Carl! I stumble up to the edge of the steps, trying to squint into the black. I hear Carla to the right, rustling around and cursing. That's when light floods the crawl space. I quickly wobble down the steps, knowing that if whatever is down here is gonna try to escape, it would be running right into me. Finally, I have a moment to catch my breath, standing several feet behind Carl as I look around, broom at the ready. There's nothing here. What the fuck? Sure enough, the crawl space looks empty. There aren't many places to hide either. What the hell is going on, Carl? But he doesn't answer me. He's staring at the bins. Did you put the bins back? I look down and the bins are gone. I look back at where they were originally, and sure enough, they're neatly stacked right where we found them. I honestly don't remember. Did I move them back? Maybe. It would be something I might do. I try, but I just can't remember. Maybe. Dude, come on. I really don't remember. Carl walks further towards the back, ears perked, looking left and right as he clutches his knife. I start to follow, but that's when I notice something at the left of my vision, on the ground. Looking down, I see something fat and hairy, ambling slowly over the tarp. A giant fucking tarantula. The following few moments are a blur, but the next thing I know, I'm going up the stairs on my feet and pause, grabbing at the doorframe to pull myself up. Jeez, what happened? I can hear him running up behind me, so I turn to warn him. Look out, a big spider. The breath keeps catching in my throat. I think I'm hyperventilating. I'm still clutching at the doorframe as Carl follows up behind me, his eyes wide. Come on, Chase, this is crazy. No, huge, a blonde. No fucking way. Now he looks excited and he turns back to the crawl space. I feel numb right now. This is all too much to handle. What the fuck is even going on? Which way? Shakily, I point towards where the spider was crawling. Carl squints, then walks down the steps, looking around. Careful. If it was really a blonde, there's not much to worry about. I hear they're actually pretty gentle. I gulp and don't say anything. My head is pounding and buzzing, which, for some reason, doesn't exactly feel like it has anything to do with the adrenaline rush. It's more like a bad headache. Carl looks around for a while longer, while I focus on the steps, making sure nothing starts crawling up them. I don't even care about the possible hobo anymore. Finally, Carl comes back, looking confused. Well, there's nothing there. You know, sometimes I see shit when I'm really tired. Wanna go back upstairs? There's nothing there. This can't be happening again. Well? And it's Wednesday. I open my eyes slowly. The pressure in my head tells me I didn't get nearly enough sleep. Not really a surprise considering we were both up until 3. And our own ghost adventure a few hours later didn't help things. I hear the doorbell and realize that's what had woken me up. Groaning, I reach under my pillow and I feel around for a few seconds before I find my phone. The lump that is Carl under the blankets near my feet doesn't even budge. That was the cool thing about having Carl as a roommate. He slept like a fucking rock. I did pretty much anything I wanted to, and didn't have to worry about him reporting me to the RA. Even something like jerking off. That only happened a few times though. The rabbit I'm rooming with now is a different story. Again, the doorbell. I glance at my phone, 10 a.m. I also notice I have 5 texts and 2 calls. Hey. Sorry. Hey. On way to Carlos Hoy's for surprise party. Make sure you're ready. Hello? That sounds like the reverse of a surprise party. I look down, then nudge some part of Carl with my foot. Judging by the thickness and consistency, I'm pretty sure it's his ass. He grunts. Hmm? What? I think someone's at the door? He doesn't say anything, and a few seconds later, his guttural snores start up again. This time, I really dig my foot in, and he yelps loudly, sitting up so fast his horns bang against the wall. He squints against the sunlight pouring in, between the blinds, which turns his emerald eyes into an almost mint green. He raises up a paw to block the light, and looks at me, frowning. What the hell was that? The doorbell goes off again. Door. Carl blinks at me, then slumps back down on his pillow, waving a paw lazily in the air. Let it ring, they'll go away eventually. Huh? Are you sure? He flops his paw around again. Solicitor, trust me. They see this house and make a beeline. No one else visits. I sigh, looking back down at my phone. Oh look, Leo texted me. That's probably him at the door. I guess my tone of surprise was a little too fake, because Carl sits up and eyes me suspiciously. Well, you can go ahead and answer it. You're allowed to touch my door. I sigh a little harder this time. Damn it, Carl, fine. They're planning a surprise birthday party for you, so go down there. Answer the door and act surprised. What? But Carl's not just confused, he looks genuinely upset. He leans into the corner and pulls up the blanket, like he's preparing to ward off the boogeyman. My birthday isn't until next month. I pause, watching him. I know, but we didn't have much to do, so Leo thought. I slide off the bed and start pulling on my jeans and shirt. Come on, I'll go down with you. Carl covers his face and rubs hard, the short fur on his muzzle bristling out in little spikes around his fingers. I just wanted to relax today, you know. Isn't that every day for you? I laugh to lighten the jab, but Carl just frowns. Well, not with you. I'm starting to wonder if all of this isolation has worsened Carl's issues, if he really has gotten the help he needs. That all of this hiding out has just blanketed the problem and let it fester underneath. We can relax. We are all friends here, Carl. Come on. Are we? I pick up his clothes left on the floor from yesterday and toss them at him. I'm at least relieved to see him putting them on, even if it's reluctant. My phone buzzes a few more times, but I ignore it and patiently wait for Carl to finish getting dressed. I think this will be a lot of fun. He doesn't say anything as he slowly rolls off the bed and pulls on his shorts. Surprise! Happy not really your birthday, bitch. As I open the door, a blast of confetti hits my face, along with a loud pop that leaves my ears ringing. DJ, not in the face. Sorry. I slowly pull the papery strings of confetti off from around my ears as the smell of fireworks stings my nose. Where the fuck's Carl? I look behind me and step over to the side a bit, revealing Carlos, who's got his arms folded tightly, head dipped. Good thing I didn't answer the door, huh? Happy birthday. Leo busses in, carrying 2 bags. Jenna follows, carrying medium-sized cylindrical cake covered in white frosting. Carl perks a bit when he sees this, his long ears bouncing. Hey, is that red velvet? Yeah, Flynn says it's your favorite. Store-made, though. I would have made it myself if Leo had warned us in advance. Hey, I just came up with this like 2 days ago. Flynn engages Carl with some fake punches while Leo sets the bags down on the table before turning it to me with his voice low. Just so you know, your gift is a horn band. Okay, so is everything alright with Flynn, I mean? Leo glances over at the lizard, quirking the corner of his mouth up towards his ear. Yeah, I think so. It will take a bit of time for him to settle down, but he already sorta apologized while you were gone. So, that's a start at least, yeah? I exhale. Okay. Carl, where are your plates? The cupboard, second door over. Now that Flynn's not shoving him around, Carl is standing awkwardly next to the table, paws fidgeting. So, why are we doing this? It's not until next month. Leo shrugs, frowning. We just wanted to do something, really. I mean, there's not much to do, you know? You have candles anywhere, Carl? No, I don't think so. What's up, man? Haven't had your morning joint yet? Lighten up. Flynn snatches up one of Carl's horns and wobbles his head around. While it's something Flynn did to Carl a lot, the taboo act of grabbing someone's horn almost makes me gasp out loud. Stop! Carl shoves Flynn off and smooths his beanie down. Well, I guess we'll have to skip the candles. I told you we should have bought some, Leo. Leo throws his arms out in a shrug. Oh, what? Sue me if I thought they'd have everything we need in this mansion. No kidding. You know how places you haven't been to since you were little look smaller when you visit as an adult? TJ's eyes scanned the tall ceiling. This place just looks giant. Sure, Teach. Kala huffs out a breath. Why didn't you guys tell me? I still need to take a shower. Quit being a pussy. You always smell like skunk. Now eat some cake. Flynn grabs up the knife while Jenna sets out the plates. The frosting is so thick it practically absorbs the knife. I haven't had cake for breakfast since like your last birthday party, Carl. Carl doesn't say anything, instead sitting at the end of the table, paws in his pockets. You guys sure slept in. What were you doing all night? I wait to see if Carl is going to say anything. When it's clear he isn't, I chime in. Video games mostly, and a movie. Fun. It's something we all could have done together though. Maybe for people who don't have a job to go to the next day. I don't think that was a personal dig at Carl, but I don't miss the downward flick of his ears. Flynn plops down a thick slice of cake onto Carl's plate, the inch-deep frosting making a splatting sound. Maybe we should just stick a doobie in there and light it, huh? Carl, who had perked up at the sight of the cake, shrinks back down with a frown. Just a small slice, please. Flynn eyes TJ, who's holding out his plate, and positions the knife. Smaller, please. Oh my god, loosen up, you're on vacation. Flynn starts cutting the slice even bigger than Carlos was. Hey! Flynn. She says it quietly, but the chill in her voice is clear, and so is the fact that things aren't completely okay. Flynn grunts, then cuts the cake again, this time with a slice that's just an inch wide. That good? Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. TJ moves away to sit down, and the warm glow of our little get-together chills, but Leo chips in with a laugh. Make sure Chase gets a real big chunk. He's getting way too skinny. I don't argue, and Flynn slaps down a large slice on my plate, a little notch in the center where he tried to cut TJ's. I sit in the vacant seat next to Carl, where he's resting a cheek in his paw, methodically shoveling the cake into his maw. Everything okay? Oh yeah, everything's good. I'm about to ask more, but Flynn points across the table at us. Hey, Leo, wanna tell them about what we saw on the way here? Oh god, no. I look at Leo inquisitively, and even Carlos' ears perk up a little bit. What? Leo purses his lips like he's trying to decide whatever or not to tell us. Now might not be the best time. Flynn rolls his eyes. Screw it. You know Janice? The waitress? Yeah, the methed out one at the diner. Come on, Flynn. Well, anyway, we were driving up Main Street toward the field, you know, with rusted barbed wire and stuff. TJ's hiding his face with a paw as he stares down hard at his cake. Uh-huh. Well, when we turned around the bend, we saw Janice. He keeps pausing for effect, and it's getting annoying. Okay, what happened? Well, she was all crouched over, staring at the road, and Leo starts driving up to her. I thought she was having like a heart attack or something. Yeah, well, as we get closer, we saw that her pants were down. I recoil a little, not having expected that at all. What? Yeah, and when we pulled up next to her, she just grinned at us and then... Flynn snorts out a laugh, covering his face, like he still can't believe what happened. Can we please not talk about this? It just makes me feel awful. What? Well, It's unusual to see Flynn at a loss for words. Well, she just started pissing. What? Why? I don't know, she just smiled at us and started pissing. Heard it first, then looked down and saw it. Then Leo hit the gas. Flynn sits back, done with his story, not exactly looking pleased with himself. I furrow my brow in confusion. Janice. She was one of the more well-adjusted people living in this town. Leo lets out a cough and into the awkward silence. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly happened. Like maybe we missed something? Either way, she seemed fine a few days ago. Well, now I have more reason to never go into that diner again. We sit there, awkwardly. I notice that Carla is still staring down at his now empty plate. I still can't figure out why Carl's being so quiet, but I see an opportunity to get him to talk. And change the subject. Hey, didn't we have some weird stuff happen, Carl? Carl looks up at me. Huh? You know, the sounds we were hearing? Oh, yeah. What kind of sounds? Like bumping sounds and voices. That sounds creepy. Yeah, and Carl just charged down there, like he wasn't even scared. That seems dangerous. Carl finally gives a little smile. Well, having a hard head can make you act crazy sometimes. So, did you find anything? No, we're not sure what it was. I'd watch out. Sounds like you got a pair of hobos banging out in your basement. As we eat, Gina leans over and starts pulling out presents from one of the bags. Sorry, Carl, we didn't even have time to wrap these up. It's fine. She pulls out a comic book from TJ, a poster from Leo, and a manga from herself. I know you hate these things, but I think you should give it a chance. I'll take a look, thanks. And then this hornband from Chase. She pulls out an orange and black band from the bag. The colors of my school. Carlos' former school. Oh. He seems to be struggling to find something to say. Thanks, I don't know people still wore these. Leo suddenly shifts against the counter, realizing that he had to explain my present. Well, they're making a comeback. We saw a couple rams and then a stag that had like 5 of them. Carl glances at me and I can tell he probably knows I didn't get it for him. That's so awkward. Mainly because of the university logo, and also because we'd made fun of them together a few years ago about how bro-y they were. I don't know if I should feel embarrassed or not, but my cheeks burn anyway. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed as fuck. This is so awkward. I promised myself to get him something thoughtful the next time we go into Peyton. Yeah, well, here's mine. Flynn reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small, hidden in his paw. He hands it to Carl, who looks confused for a second before the expression turns to one of interest. Wow. It's a small metal rectangular box with 2 sharp points jutting out the top. I lean in for a closer look and realize those parts are horns, and there's a complex, elegant design of a ram's face etched out on the front of the box. Carol presses a thumb against one of the horns and pushes. The tip flicks up and over, and that's when I realize it's a lighter. Saw it when I was over on the reservation. Made me think of you. He reaches out and traces a finger along the horns and clicks it back shut. Thanks, Flynn. Yeah, now you look like a badass when you decide to get blazed. Yeah. Oh, sorry. We all jump and look over at TJ, who's looking at the floor, his plate gone from the table. Flynn starts to laugh but catches himself. Don't worry about it. They've probably got 100 of those plates. Carl, where's your broom? He doesn't say anything, and we look at where Carla had been sitting a few seconds before. But he's gone, and so is another portion of the cake. Huh? Where'd he go? Hey, check between the wall and the fridge. I think that's where I remember seeing it. Wait, did I accidentally skip? No. Okay. TJ gets down on his knees and starts picking up the larger pieces. I look back at Carlos' spot, then up the stairs. I'll be right back. Bathroom. I'm not sure why the deck is the first place I look, but it's where I find him. I watch him through the paneled curtains for a moment. He's sitting on the little swing set, facing out towards the glaringly bright desert. There's an empty plate with a fork on it next to him. He's also toying with the lighter Flynn gave him, flipping it open and closed a few times, and holding it up to the light. Smoke wafts up from his lap, where I assume he's holding a joint. Quietly, I slide open the glass door and step out onto the wooden balcony. Alright, we will end it here.